I'm here to help you review your nonfiction country book with the rubric. So make sure you have your nonfiction country book out with you right now. If you don't have it, pause the video and go get it. Are you ready now? You have your country book? Are you positive? Okay, good. So the very first part of the rubric is the title page. That's going to be the very front of your book. Does it have an author and a title? We would hope that you drew a picture of your country or you had the flag of your country, but make sure that the name of your country is in the title. The next part of the rubric is the introduction. Remember, we're looking at this column on the rubric because that's going to get you the most points. So for introduction, it's asking that you have one paragraph, your name, why the topic was chosen. So which country did you choose and why? How research was done, and then an illustration with a caption shown on the right. So make sure that you have your illustration, your caption on the right side, and all of your paragraph on the left. Features. So that would be like from science class. So are there mountains? Are there valleys? Are there rivers? Right? So you need one paragraph on the left. You need to include 2 or more natural features of your country and the country feature locations. So make sure you have where those features are. This means it could be a mountain range, it could be big rivers, maybe there's a volcano, right? So really research that and find that out. For a location, this means you need to have a map labeled with the main cities, bordering countries, and including a key, scale, and a compass rose. Looking at location, you should have the picture of the location on the left and then the paragraph of features on the right. So those are the 2 pages you see at the same time. Culture. So looking at the 2-point column for culture, it's asking that you have one paragraph stating when the country was established. That means when the country was made into a country. One historical fact, so something that happened in the history of that country, and one cultural tradition. So a cultural tradition is something you have to make sure you researched. What is something they do as a tradition in their culture of that country? Then you need an illustration of their traditional dress with a caption included on the right side. So you should have the paragraph on the left and the illustration on the right. The cuisine means food. So what kind of food does everyone eat in that country? You need one paragraph for this as well on the left. The paragraph should include 2 common foods included, at least one crop that is grown in the country, and then your illustration should be of the food or the crops with a caption included. Next thing is the conclusion. So it should be 1 paragraph. Your sentences should summarize all the information in your book. So it should tell us the facts that you've come up with from your research and maybe just the things you thought were most interesting. That's in your conclusion. You're wrapping up your book. For resources, you need at least 3 resources. So any books or websites you used, you need to write the titles of the books or the .com webpage of those websites you used. So the .com links. Glossary is near the end. You need to have at least 5 important words listed in alphabetical order. Alphabetical order, what is that? So you need definitions with each word. Make sure they're in alphabetical order. Definitions, I think you know what those are. You need to make sure you have the meaning of each word. That's what a definition is. Headings, that's what goes at the top of your page. So every time you start something new like cuisine, the heading should be at the very top. Capitalization, make sure that you use arms and cups. This is part of cups right here. If you notice, this spells cups, C-U-P-S. Index is at the very end. Remember, the index is in alphabetical order, and it has the page numbers of where those words are in the book. So make sure you write the word that you want people to be able to find easily, and you write the page number of where that word goes. Next is neatness. You need to have your book look really neat if you want some extra credit points on that. At the very bottom is the grade that you will be getting for the book. Now that you know what the rubric's asking of you, it's time to use the rubric to grade yourself. There's two options to do that. The first option is you can highlight the actual words themselves. So I'm looking down the rubric. I need to make sure I have everything in each column where I'm highlighting. So if I'm looking at my title page at the very front of my book, I'm seeing if it includes the author and the title. If I have the author and the title, I can highlight that section and say, yes, I do have the author and the title. If I don't have one of those things, that means I highlight the 1-point column. So make sure you're highlighting correctly and being honest in your grading. So the next part is the introduction. I'm going to show you a different way to highlight for the introduction. So what I can do to highlight for introduction is, let's say that it's less than one paragraph. Oh no. That means I have to highlight the 1-point section. So I'm going to highlight all, like the entire box. So all the words, the whole box like this. I'm going to go and look for the bucket. So I'm looking for a bucket. No buckets. It might be on your screen. It just depends on how large your screen is. I don't have it, so I'm going to click the more dots up here. There's the bucket. I'm going to choose the background color for this box. I'm going to use bright green to stick with the same highlighting color. So this shows me I only got 1 point for the introduction. Okay. When you're highlighting, choose one and stick with it. So don't do words in some and then boxes in others. Just choose one way to do it and use that way. Also, just choose one color. Now, we have all of this highlighted. Now we have to figure out, how do we actually score it? Let's add up the points. Count how many 2-point column squares that you've highlighted first and multiply it by 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay. 8 times 2 is 16 points. So I have 16 points so far. Now I'm just going to add the 1-point columns. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So right now my score is 21 out of 28 points for now. Next thing is I need to check if I did my extra credit. So see if you have an index. Do you have an index that's in alphabetical order with page numbers? No, I don't. 0 out of 1. Is my book nice and neat? Oh, yes it is. 1 out of 1. So I got 1 extra point. That means instead of 21 out of 28, I have 22 out of 28. Now, my next step is to use a calculator to divide 22 divided by, that's what this sign's for, 28. Here is my calculator. I am going to do exactly what I said to do earlier. My score that I received divided by how many points there were to begin with, divided by 28. Equals, wow, that's a really long decimal. Now, this is how we get a percent. Technically, what we're doing is we're multiplying by 100, so that means we're moving the decimal point over twice, like this, 1, 2. So this is your score. You can sort of cover everything else. This is your score. So 78% is your score. So I'm going to go back to my rubric and highlight C. So after grading myself by using this rubric, after highlighting all of the sections that say what I have in my book or what I don't have, and marking down what extra credit I earned, I wrote my score by adding up all the numbers, and then I used a calculator, as you saw on the video, to calculate what my letter grade is. Please make sure you do all of those things on the nonfiction book rubric assignment.